Good morning, world. Up before the crack of dawn. Thought about this all night. And we're going to do it. Putting it out there. Piston gas porting. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. This comes from my roots in moto, and we're gonna bring it to the saw world because we think that I think that a lot of you guys will enjoy this and benefit from it. So that's the goal here. Share the wealth. And that's what we're gonna do. So I talked about it in a video yesterday. I referred to it the wrong way. I said piston porting. The saw itself is piston ported. So let me rephrase myself. Gas porting. We are gas porting our pistons. I did a bunch of homework. I'm always doing homework, which is funny because I never did homework in school. I guess it just didn't catch my attention. This does. So that's what we're talking about. Whew. Got my chestnuts roasting on an open fire. It's a little bit cold down here. Gas porting. I don't see many people talking about it. You can look across the internet. There's still not many people talking about it. I read a lot last night, mostly in the automotive world. Not a ton of information on this. I guess you could call it mixed reviews. Some people say doesn't last a long time. So other people say it does last a long time. But that, again, is part of the reason for this channel. We will do the field work so you don't have to. So yeah, I guess we'll get right into it. What is piston porting? Piston gas porting. Essentially, what they do, there's a couple different methods of this. The first one being vertical gas porting, which what you would do, let me get this ring off of here. Try not to break it. I'm a ring breaker. I am. Give me a sec. I'm a ring breaker. I don't know why. I just freaking break rings. There we go. There we go. Heavy-handed. Okay, so the first method, you would drill down through the top of your piston, and you want to be right on the edge, the back wall of your ring seat. So you would come, not with this. I think this would be a precision machine job. Mill, drill press, precision, not a Dremel. What you would do is you would go straight down through the top of your piston and touch the wall of your ring seat. Now, what this does is under combustion, you have a massive forces and pressure pushing down on the top of your piston. Those gases go through those holes and opens your ring. What does this do? This gives you better ring seal. No blow by. Keeps oil all over your ring. I can't lie. We don't know all the benefits. I don't know all the benefits. I know it brings some power. So, with that being said, these vertical ports. From what I understand and what I've read, eventually they end up failing due to carbon buildup. I mean, when I'm saying drill holes, I got a bit. Hold on. I don't even know if the camera will pick that up. Where? It ain't gonna pick it up. It's a tiny one. I could snap that thing off with my finger. Do I have a size? I might. Size 16. 0.016 by 0.920 is the size of this drill bit. We're not talking a big hole. So, yes, vertical gas porting. Like I said, everything I've read does not recommend it. It might work the best as far as expanding your ring and getting the gases where they need to be the quickest. But it seems there's some shortcomings. Number one being the buildup of carbon in those very tiny holes. It's not that your piston isn't going to work or you're going to lose power. You just won't be gas ported anymore. You won't have that ring seal. It would essentially work as a normal piston. Will you feel a difference? Probably not, because I don't think those holes clog immediately. Probably takes some time. So with that, the second method is called lateral gas porting. This, and if I posted the video yesterday, you'll see, is when on the top of your ring landing, I'm sorry, this camera is so blurry, guys. On the top side of your ring landing, you're essentially just creating a groove or a channel that touches the wall of your ring seat. And what this does is it allows the gases to come around the top of the piston, sneak into those grooves, and force your piston out against the wall of your cylinder. I don't think that the carbon will affect that as much as this lateral versus vertical. I do think that over time, yes, it will build up, and again, it's not going to ruin your piston or score up your cylinder or, pinch your rings, it's just going to be a regular piston. When the flow of the gases stops coming into the ring landing and pushing out, you essentially just have the tension left from your ring. So with those two methods, I'm not going to say you're looking at potential failure, but you are looking at a decrease in the longevity of your modification. So I dug in deep to find the best method of this. And what I learned is that you can port the ring, itself. How do we do this? We are going to show you both methods. Now, the vertical porting, I'm just going to stay away from it. Everything I see says that it doesn't last as long, and carbon is a factor. So with the lateral porting, carbon is still a factor, but I would say you're less at risk. So what we are going to do is laterally port our piston ring. How are we going to do that? Well, I'm on the fence. I have a caber ring here and a meteor piston. Do I want to hack up my piston, or do I want to hack up this nice, pretty caber ring? One more thing. The lower tension your ring, the better this will work. If your gas ported piston is forcing a high tension ring, I don't think it works as well. I am not going to go in and remove material from this. I have 2 more rings right here. No, they're not caber rings, but I got 2 of them. And this is a cheap Chinese piston, so that's how we're going to do it. I will laterally port this meteor piston, and we will laterally port this Chinese ring. I'm on the fence. How do I want to do this? I don't want to chop up that caber. Or do I? These Chinese rings are definitely a lot less tension. Much less. Which I kind of like. But I know that the cabers are good. So, how do I do it? Make sure our piston is in its upright position. Hands and feet out of the aisle at all times. What am I going to use? I got my little Proxen for the heavy-handed. And I have this little diamond cutting wheel. Now, I understand that, and I've thought of ways that I could be more precise about this. And what I'd like to do is build, I don't know how to say it, a table, a plate, something that I could set the ring down to where whatever it's sitting in is literally 3/4 the width of the ring. I've got some ideas on a jig, I guess. But no, what we do with this is just make a little notch. We're just gonna make a little notch. So let me, I'm gonna do a couple, and I'm gonna show you. I'm trying to keep these videos right around 20 minutes. Seems to be the sweet spot, so sit tight. I'll be right back. Okay. This is what I did. I took this little diamond wheel. I laid it flat on my bench. And I made little notches. So, from what I understand, if you do this on your ring versus your piston itself, the carbon buildup is no longer a factor. What I've read is that this is, it floats on your ring seat. It doesn't rotate, but it's in there vibrating. And from what I've read, that not the vibration, but the combination of fuel, oil, combustion, compression, vigorously up and down, the carbon doesn't build up nearly as much. I don't know if the camera's gonna catch this, but if you, I am minimal. I'm touching it just enough to get a little tiny groove in there. The goal here is to not compromise the integrity of the ring. We don't want to create a weak spot. I wish I had a measurement for you all, but I don't. So yes, this is lateral ring porting. And we are talking about gas porting pistons here. This is a method. I would say this is the preferred method. A set of rings is a lot less than a piston. And you can swap them out easy. Now, what I will do with that is grab a piece of 320. Not very hard. I'm just knocking burrs down. And yes, we at 2172, 372 X torque, I actually ported the piston itself. And we're gonna get into that right now. Give me a sec. All right, I found this other piston here. I'm not gonna hack up that meteor. I don't know what this is for. I want to say an older steel. So I have this pretty fine tip diamond burr on here. It's not a burr. Diamond rotary tool. Let's crank it up. after I unplug my heater. Now, what I'm doing is throwing things. I'm coming in here. Right, you do not want to hit the bottom of your ring landing. So I go in very slowly. I have room in there. I come in at a slightly downward angle. And I just create a little channel right to the back wall. Run that tip. Smidge. A smidge. A smidge. That allows the gases to get behind your ring and push it out. Pause. Let's be a little calculated here. Find your ring pin. Go directly across and make a mark. In this case, it is in the middle. Well, I don't remember what this saw was from, so we'll go right off of our exhaust arrow. Turn it sideways. Just break this up 4 ways. And then split that. We're making a pie. A piston ring pie. And then we just transfer those around the edge, top edge, not deep. This little diamond cutter works very nice for the heavy-handed. So, let's do it. Right there, that's all we needed. That's all we needed. Yeah, buddy. It's not a lot. Do not need a lot. Alright, here we're going to skip the ring pin. If you run with your burr a little bit, you should be all right. These little diamond cutting wheels, they don't rip material away. They just kind of change it. So, do I have a ring? Will fit it? I don't think so. I don't have a ring for this, but you can see it. Maybe. Maybe you can't, but that's how small they need to be. Hold on. This camera really isn't much better, but I can put a little focus on there. Little, tiny. There you go. Now you see what I'm cooking. Boom. Just a little notch. That one could probably use a little more. So could that. Well, there's a good example of what we are looking for. You see it? And then, when you're done, go around with your sandpaper, fold it in half, stick it right down in your ring seat, very lightly, knock some of that away. And you know what I'm thinking? We got that Husky 353 over there. Maybe we can get some befores and some afters. I'd be willing to do that. Tear it down, gas port it, put it back together in the same day, and go do some side-by-side cuts. Yeah, I would have to touch a few of these up. They're not deep enough. But yeah, essentially we are talking, if you took a sewing needle and you put it in that notch, you would have half of the sewing needle sticking back down into your ring landing. It's simple. If you can take a head off of a saw and get the piston off, you can piston port. I wouldn't say try it with a drill, a Dremel or a Fordham or whatever you got. Rotary tool is probably your best bet. With one of these little burrs, the diamond cutter. It works. It does something. Maybe somebody out there with a dyno can dyno it and see what kind of gains it brings. I just want to shed light on it. I'm always looking to, see what the next upgrade is. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. I'm not nervous to port a saw. I just need a timing wheel. And we're going to get into playing with numbers and doing some builds. But I seek simple performance upgrades. I think we all know that these saws come from the manufacturers pretty tamed down. And I like fast things. So yeah, we're looking for simple improvements, simple mods, simple things that you can do at home. Tell me what you think. I'm sure I'm going to get all kinds of feedback, but it's out there. It's in the ether. So we'll see what happens. I appreciate the views. I appreciate the concerns. I do. Picked up what you're putting down, so we'll be all right. We'll be all right. But yeah, with that, guys, we'll do more of this. I'll get more into it. I know we all want to see the night and day. The stock saw versus the mod saw. Consecutive videos. Timed. We want proof, so I'll get there. The whole camera thing is new to me, but we'll figure it all out. And sorry for getting you riled up, but I'm glad it was heard. And yeah, all positivity moving forward. Love you guys.